everybody, Chris here, and in this video I want to show you guys how we can add a shine bar to a title inside of DaVinci Resolve 17. So when I'm talking about a shine bar, what I mean is this little white strip that goes from left to right across the title in order to make it look like it's reflecting light a little bit and shining. So let's go ahead and hit play here, and you can kind of see what this effect can look like. Obviously, it's a little fast there, but it would be really easy to slow it down. All you need to do is stretch the duration of the keyframes. So if you want to create a title and add some new custom nodes to it, then the best option to select is going to be a Fusion composition. Alternatively, you can select an already existing title, and you'll just have to add a couple nodes to it, the same nodes that we're going to use in this composition. So to create something from scratch, I'm going to drag this Fusion composition clip onto the timeline. So let's put it right there. I'm going to select it and we'll go into it on the Fusion page. So with the blank Fusion composition, we're going to not really have anything here except for the media out. So to keep things easier in this video, we're going to go ahead and use a text plus node for making a 2D title. So I'll unselect media out, click text plus, and that's going to add a node to our graph. So we can click on the left preview circle to add this to the top left. And here we can see what our text is going to look like before it goes on to any other nodes. So for the text, I'll put in something like making it shine. Select whatever you'd like for the font. And we're probably going to want to increase the size a bit too, so that it better fits our full video frame. Now, the only requirement here for the text in terms of color is going to be that you have a different color for the base text than you do have for the shining effect. So I'm going to go into color here and select anything else that we might like. Perhaps a light blue would be good. So I'll select that for now. And now we need to use a shape node to create that shine effect. So I'm going to right click on the node graph, go to add tool, and we'll go down here to the relatively new shape category. So this is vector shapes, which are great for creating things like 2D boxes or 2D stars that you want to move around the screen. One of the advantages of using the vector shape nodes is that they are going to render much faster than 3D nodes for obvious reasons. They're 2D instead of 3D. So inside of the shape category, let's go ahead and grab a rectangle. So with a rectangle node, we can angle that however we need in order to make it look like there's that slant for the shine effect. So I'm just going to take the angle here, and let's start with 45 for 45 degrees. Now this is kind of more of a diamond shape. So in order to make it look more like a strip, we're going to want to decrease the width of this shape. So it's going to thin that rectangular box until we have it roughly where we need. And we might decide, okay, the angle is a little bit steep here, so we can just take the angle and shift that down until we get the angle we want. Just think of everything inside the box as going to be filled with the color of this rectangle shape. So the next node we're going to need for this rectangle vector shape is a shape render node. So I'm going to right click on the node graph, go to add tool, go down here to shape and do S render. So we feed the S rectangle output into S render here. And what you'll notice is that there is a blue effect mask input for this node here. So what this effect mask is going to allow us to do is to limit which parts of the rectangle are actually going to render its color. So we can use the text shape in order to mask the rectangle shape. So only where the text actually overlaps the rectangle is it going to show that color. So we won't render a full rectangle, it'll only render the color on top of the underlying text, which is what we want in this case. So before we do that, I'm going to right click on the node graph one more time, go to add tool, composite, and merge. So before we get the media output, we are going to want the original text node. So I'm going to feed this to the background or the orange connector on this merge. And then we're going to take the shape render output and make that the foreground. So the green connector in this merge node, and then we feed all that to media out. So now that we have everything connected to media out, because we don't have the effect mask yet, we can see that the full shape of that rectangle node is rendering. Not what we want once again, but now that we understand that the text needs to be the effect mask for the S render, it's really simple to fix. We just take the output of the text node and also connect that to the S render node. And just like that, the white color from that rectangle shape is only going to render on top of our text. So now it just becomes a simple matter of animating the rectangle box. So you can see if I move the rectangle box left and right, that is going to determine what part of the underlying text gets that shine at any point in time. Okay, so now to get our animation, let's go to frame 0, and we're going to keyframe the X offset. So that's the position of the rectangle box. So let's move it into position, let's say right over here to the left where it's not actually hovering over anything. And then we keyframe the X offset here by clicking on the keyframe diamond in the inspector. Now we need to set a point where it's moved all the way across and completed at least one cycle of the little animation. So originally, at the start of this video, I had it at 30 frames in order to get across. Let's make it something more like 45 or even 60. Let's go with 60 this time. And I'm going to take the position here, and I'm just going to move this all the way across over here. And when we do that, you'll notice that the second keyframe is automatically created because there's already one keyframe at frame 0. So as long as you change the value on another frame, keyframes get created automatically. So now if we go to frame 0 and hit play, we're going to have our effect. Let's play it one more time now that it's pre-rendered a little bit more. And that's basically it there. So if we want the effect to play multiple times though, we can go to frame 61 here and keyframe it here as well. So I'm going to take the exact position at frame 0. I'm going to copy this value. We're going to go to frame 61 and I'm going to Control V, paste this value into the X offset. Now we do the same thing with frame 60, Control C, we'll go to frame 120, hit Control V, paste it in. Now we go to frame 0, hit play, and it's going to cycle twice. So when we go back to the edit page and hit play, this is going to basically be the final result. So we have our nice rectangle bar moving across, making our text shine. So that's pretty much going to be it for this simple trick with the vector shaped nodes and DaVinci Resolve 17. I've been Chris, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my future video content.